Okay, everybody, so welcome to part 2 in my Bone Collector series. I am finally doing a TV show and I'm very excited about it. The official title of the show is Lincoln Rhyme: The Hunt for the Bone Collector, and so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'll be looking at the TV show as well as pointing out differences between the show and the book The Bone Collector, and trust me, there were plenty of differences, so it should be exciting. And despite the plenty of differences, I definitely recommend the TV show. It was really fast-paced, similar to the book, and the characters were pretty similar. If not exactly the same, they definitely were the same kind of idea and representation of the characters in the books. They followed the same moral principle and all that. So if not exactly the same, the characters were similar. You got the same feel for each character. They gave off the same vibes, if you will. And it wasn't exactly the same as the book, but it was definitely worth it, both from somebody who had never read the book's perspective and for somebody who had read the book. It not being exactly the same was kind of an advantage. And I'm pretty sure I binged it in 2 days, and there's only 10 episodes, so it really is just a worthwhile investment if you're looking for a good TV show, especially during coronavirus and all that. It's really good. Books, TV, music, and movies. All things that make a big impact on everyone. I'm constantly gushing about my latest read to anyone who will listen, so I figured I'd turn my rambling into something coherent that people will actually listen to. That means no tuning out halfway through. I'm Maya Ghosh, and this is my take. Okay, now obviously Lincoln Rhyme is a TV show, so we're not going to be looking at the writing today, which means I figured I would start with the glaring differences between book Lincoln Rhyme and Company versus TV Lincoln Rhyme and Company. And the first and most obvious difference is Amelia has a relationship with her sister, and we get to explore Amelia's family relationship a lot more in the TV show because the premise is that both of her parents are dead instead of just her dad, and Amelia has been taking care of her sister. Her sister's a teenager, whereas Amelia's in her mid-20s maybe. And we learn more about kind of her past, and to be honest, we learn more about all of the characters' past. Like I said in my episode on the book, there is a little bit of impersonality. Again, I'm bringing that word back in, and I know full well it's not a word, but there's a little bit of that where we don't truly know the characters in the book and we don't get to see their past. It's a very present focused book, whereas the TV show does a better job of giving us a past to look into and giving us all of that. So we get to see more of her past, and I think that's really cool. And she has aspirations to be an FBI agent and a profiler and not just kind of avoid the cop life and go get a desk job and stuff. And so I think that's really cool, especially because it gives her more depth in the sense that she wants to be a profiler because she has more that she gets to fight Lincoln on and stuff, and that has kind of a psychology background and stuff and is looking into profiling the Bone Collector too. And Lincoln isn't suicidal in the TV show. Thank God. I don't think I could have dealt with Lincoln being suicidal in the TV show. I don't know why. Maybe because I already read the whole book and was tired of Lincoln being suicidal, but I don't think I could have dealt with it. And I was very happy that he wasn't, and that was very good. And he has a son. Lincoln's family relationship in the TV show is a lot better because his wife, his fiance moved away with their son to be protected, which I think I'll get into more later, but basically the Bone Collector was a threat, and so they moved away to be protected. And Lincoln has a relationship with his son. He plays video games with his son over FaceTime and stuff too, and it's so cute. The two of them are so cute together. I love it. I love Lincoln's relationship with his son. It's so adorable. And then the next three are kind of successive character changes, but I was okay with. Tom is now Claire. And I was like, okay, we're good with diversifying. It's fine. A lot of these changes were for diversity so that it wasn't just like a completely male-led cast, and I was completely okay with that. And Claire has agoraphobia, which is the fear of like being outside and leaving like your house and stuff, and like extreme, I'm pretty sure it's like an extreme form of social anxiety. My psych teacher would not be happy that I don't know this definition, but it's fine. And I mean, like I said, I'm fine with it being diverse and Claire being a girl and stuff. And I like the character development that we get because we get a background with Claire. Whereas with Tom in the book, we never really got his background. Claire, we actually have more of a developed relationship. And she's still the same witty, funny, you know, challenging Lincoln, all that kind of stuff. So we didn't lose that, like, Tom essence in her. We just got a little bit more, which I think was fun. And then Cooper is now two people analyzing evidence. And, again, we love diversity because one of them's a girl. And I'm completely okay with it. And one of the people who does it is the guy who played Simon in the first season of Quantico. And so that was really cool to see him come up. And he, you know, is, again, a cop and stuff. And I personally think that once you play a cop, you're never going back because you're always going to be involved in some law enforcement type thing. But I liked seeing him, and it was cool to see him again because I don't think I've seen him in anything recently. And then Banks becomes Castillo. But again, diversity, you know, mixing it up, not all white men. So I was okay with that. Then kind of small differences. There was no rubber bands on shoes to protect a crime scene, which I was really sad about because I missed the rubber bands on shoes bit. And there was also no, like, Amelia's crazy driving, which I was sad because in the book, Amelia's crazy driving was kind of part of her past, and that was kind of how we learned more about her and how she used to, like, take her dad's car and go out driving all night and stuff, and that was a way that we learned about her, and we lost that in this, but it was okay. Lincoln also doesn't call her Sax, he calls her Amelia, which I think lost a little bit of the, like, witty banter between the two of them, but again, their relationship in essence stayed the same, so I was okay with it. There was plenty of scotch drinking, that did stay the same, so if you guys liked that they drank scotch together, that is still in the TV show. And then the kind of, like, two biggest differences were, one, that the Bone Collector is already established. So in the book, like I said, the Bone Collector is this new up-and-coming serial killer that starts with the start of the book. So the TV show, it starts with a flashback to 5 years in the past, and Lincoln is paralyzed because of the Bone Collector. He set a trap, Lincoln fell, landed on a bunch of bricks, paralyzed himself. And that's the reason that his family moved away, is because, like, the Bone Collector got to be such a big threat. So the Bone Collector is kind of Lincoln's, like, life's work is to catch the Bone Collector type of thing. And then the TV show starts after that flashback of it's been 3 years after that. So they spent 5 years hunting him, and then like 3 years later the Bone Collector resurfaces, and that's why this starts. And I'm more okay with this having read the book, because it's, like, one of my issues with Big Little Lies, because I started to watch Big Little Lies after I read the book, was I already know who died at the end of Big Little Lies, right? That was the whole big reveal. I already knew that, and so going into the TV show, that kept it very similar to the book, and I was very happy that it was very similar to the book. I couldn't get into it just because I already knew the ending, so all of the intrigue was kind of gone. Whereas with this, the fact that they're differing from the book a little bit, but keeping the characters in essence, is I'm okay with, because I don't have to slog through intros and setup and all of the stuff that I already know. So I definitely enjoy it. And then we see the Bone Collector's identity in his personal life, and that's kind of the second biggest difference, because we get, not only do we get stuff from the Bone Collector's perspective, but we know who he is. We see his past and how he was connected to Lincoln, and he has a wife, and we see his relationship with his wife, which gets very gruesome when he kills his wife. That was, you know, weird, and not fun, and I didn't like it. And just the fact that we see a personal life creates a dramatic irony, right? Because the watchers know everything that's going on. They know who he is. And it's like, this is so obvious. Why don't you just find him kind of thing? Whereas in the book, even though we saw the bone collector's perspective, we didn't have his identity, so it couldn't be that obvious for us. So the dramatic irony is kind of fun and also kind of annoying. But yeah, just the fact that we get to see his identity and he has a personal life and isn't just like this loner serial killer type of thing was another big difference. And overall, like, I kind of like the differences because, like I said, it's similar enough to keep the spirit of the book, but not too similar that I lose all interest in, like, what's going to happen. And had I come at this not having read the book, I wouldn't know the differences, obviously. It would still be a really amazing TV show. But I think that having come at it, read the book, it's the perfect amount of difference that I'm still able to be intrigued as somebody who's read the book, but I still appreciate it and can call it an adaptation of the book and not have to separate them from my mind and say that they're two completely different things. Like, it really is a book adaptation that has been done really well. And it also, like, it's not all about the bone collector. If you watch the TV show, you'll know they solve other cases. It's not just like one short stint where they find and solve the bone collector case. They solve a bunch more cases throughout the 10 episode series. And so the extra cases are really cool because it really gets to show off more of Lincoln's personality and his forensic expertise and all of that stuff. And it gives us more time for character growth. So that is really cool. Now, moving away from differences and focusing just kind of on the plot of the TV show, I shipped Amelia and Castillo, and when Castillo died, it was not fair. He deserved so much better. He died protecting Lincoln and Lincoln's son and his fiance, and he was just such a good guy, and they had so much in common in the fact that they, like, raised their siblings and stuff, and I thought they were planting the seeds for an Amelia and Eric relationship, and then it didn't happen because he died! And it wasn't fair, and I didn't like it, and I was very mad at that. So yeah, the bone collector's home life, like I was saying, was weird, especially because he then kills his wife, and the way he killed his wife was so weird, because he was like, oh, I'm gonna let you go after torturing you for a while, and then, oh yeah, you're free, come here, let me hug you, and then let me snap your neck. Like, okay, like, I don't appreciate that. So, yeah, also, the fact that Cutter dies and the bone collector has to kill Cutter was completely unfair because she was planting the seeds of, like, oh, Amelia, if you ever want to work at the FBI, like, come talk to me because I think you're actually smart at profiling, unlike Lincoln, who doesn't care about a profile. And when she dies, because she died in such a heroic way, too. She was like, I'm going to set off this trap so that Amelia doesn't try to save me and get injured like Lincoln did. But I loved Cutter. Cutter was so good. And she was such a strong woman and female in power and female of color in power. And I was just like, why, Cutter, why? Yeah, you can tell I have strong feelings about the show, can't you? And then Amelia and Lincoln's relationship is just so good and so kind and caring and also funny and witty and everything that I needed from their relationship and everything that their relationship was in the book, it was on screen too, and I loved that. And going on to that, the Amelia death scare was not okay. I did not appreciate that. I appreciated that Amelia used her wits and left the camera facing the bomb so it looked like she died so it would get the bone collector off her back. But I didn't appreciate that we, the audience, had to go through an Amelia death scare, because that was not okay. And Lincoln still does use his dysreflexia, I hope I'm saying that right, on the bone collector to kind of, like, as part of how he gets away from the bone collector kind of thing. At the end, if you've watched the book, yes, because you can watch books. If you've watched the TV show, you know what I'm talking about. And I think that was a nice tribute, because even though it wasn't how the bone collector was finally taken down, which is what happened in the book, it was nice that they still used that same tactic and kind of like paid tribute to the book kind of in that way. And then the ending with the body falling right in front of them was insane. And like, where is season 2? Because I need that. You can't just like drop a body in front of us and then end the season. That's not how it works. So yeah, I need season 2, and I'm sure when season 2 comes out, I will do another podcast episode about season 2. So yeah, I think just overall, there was a really good balance between similarities and differences in the book and the TV show, and I really did love both of them. And I would have loved the TV show had I not read the book. I'm glad that I read the book because reading the book was really fun. And yeah, I think if you read the book and enjoyed the book, you really should watch the TV show. And if you didn't read the book, I mean, I say the book was always better, so read the book first. But if you don't want to read the book, watch the TV show. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And like I said, I'm glad I read the book first because that's just who I am. But it's not one of those TV shows where I think it's vital to read the book to be able to enjoy the show. So do it in whatever order you want. I have been Maya Grosh, and this has been my take on the TV show Lincoln Rhyme, The Hunt for the Bone Collector. Thanks for listening.